This is a review of the Dakota Ridge RV Resort in Golden, Colorado, just west of Denver, Colorado. So you can see the entrance out there in the distance. To the left is the office building. There's a propane fill up and a dump station here, although a lot of the sites have hookups. And it's on Colfax Avenue, which is a very busy road in Colorado. You can see there's a Roadhouse bar that's a bit off to the distance, and we could hear live music from there every single night. So you're hearing that outside. Couldn't hear it within the rig, but we could definitely hear it when we are just outside. The office building has a meeting space area. There's a pool table. There's also an exercise facility. All that stuff is just open during the office hours, though, from 8 to 5. Behind the office building is where they have their pool, and there's also a laundry facility space. You can see the RVs lined up in the park back here, and then there's a bit of a mountain open space, a small hill, I should say, in the back there where you could hike. There's also some mountain space and open space to the other side, so you could drive your car easily over there, ride your bikes, and jump into the mountains right away. Behind the office building is a playground that our kids enjoyed, and then you can see the row of the RVs parked here. Some shade and some trees. They've cut the lower branches, so they've done a pretty good job of allowing you to have a couple of trees and having that appearance without having those be a problem for your RV as you're trying to park and be there. There's a little bit of guest parking too. When it comes to being located in or around Denver, this is really one of your closer locations that you're going to find. Golden is really easily accessible from I-70 and then C-470. C-470 wraps around Denver, well, including E-470. And then I-70, of course, goes through the state up into the mountains. So it makes for a really nice location. The pool was nice. It was definitely clean. It was heated. It probably went to about 6 foot in depth. And then there's a hot tub that's for adults only. So they have that in the area, and some seating lounge chairs so you can sit there. And then if we look back here, we could easily see our RV right there. So if you're able to trust that your kids can be at the pool, you can still be by your RV and let them be at the pool. And then you can see the playgrounds in the back. This is our site at the Dakota Ridge RV Park, and you can see that we have a picnic table which we can move around to place where we want it. There's a concrete pad where the RV can go onto, but you notice there's a bit of a dip, so you have to make sure that you're staying right on that concrete pad as you're driving in. Plus our step is pretty high off of the ground, so we've been putting a step stool down there. We have a fairly good amount of space between us and the neighbor to this side, which is I'm sure why the picnic table is placed here. And then you can just see the pool in the distance there, which is nice to be that close. On the side with our hookups, you can see we have full hookups. And when we pull out our slides and they pull out our slides, there's probably only 4 feet difference between those two. But again, this is the side with all the utilities, so we don't necessarily need to be outside on this side. Our living space, our outdoor living space, I guess you could say, would be more on this side where I think there's a good deal of space. So people complain that the sites are pretty close together, and on your utility side you are going to be close together, but I don't think it's any worse than most other RV parks. The roads are kind of narrow too though, so it was a little tough for us with a 37-foot RV to pull into our site, especially because we couldn't go off that concrete pad because it's quite a bit of a drop. So I guess it is a little bit tight, but you do have some nice mountain views kind of off into the distance. And just behind the park is a bit of a mountain range where you can hike up there. Now we are in prime rattlesnake area, so as you're going on those hikes and stuff, you definitely want to be cognizant of rattlesnakes and make lots of noise, and don't let the kids run up ahead of you. If anything, let your dogs run ahead of you because they'll scare off the snakes. This is the packet that you get at check-in. So, and it goes through a bunch of the things about check-in and pet rules, pool rules, the amenities and things that they have there, a map of the site. And one of the nice things, this is a very busy road. So Colfax Avenue is very busy. Right over here is where the Roadhouse bar is. and that's very loud. You got a lot of biker crowd, things related to that. But within our RV, we couldn't really hear the noise, but it certainly is a noisy area. Back on this side, you have a bit of a mountain, so kind of a mound. You could hike it and climb it. Be careful for rattlesnakes, but you do have some of that open space, which is nice. But this side, right across the main road of Colfax, is very busy. So just so you know about that. And then they have a little bit more details about things that are in the area and different services that you could find. There's very close proximity to Denver, which is really nice. This is just off of C470 at the Dinosaur Ridge wall, which is in, I think it's probably more Morrison than Golden. It might be Golden. This is just an 8-minute drive from the RV park, and you can see the dinosaur tracks. They actually paint them with a charcoal blend, so it's very easy for kids to see the dinosaur tracks. There's also a nice visitor center area and museum where you can learn about the dinosaurs at that time in the area. Cost was $2 to go in the museum, and then you can hike up on your own to the trail, or you could take a shuttle bus for $10, adults, $8 for kids. And that would have been the way to go because it was so hot that day. And you can see more of the items, the different tracks and bones, and actually touch dinosaur bones in the monument. We paid $80 a night, which I'd say is a little overpriced, even though it had a pool and some amenities. That's a bit high.